Hi, I'm Lacey. Today's December 10th, 2020, and I'm going to talk to you today about what I think is going to happen for the US housing market based off of Biden's political picks. Janet Yellen is Biden's pick for US Treasury Secretary. If she ends up getting confirmed, that means that she's going to be the first woman in its 100-year history to hold that position. That's kind of a big deal, guys. It's the job of the US Treasury Secretary to essentially stir the economy during the pandemic and see it through while it grows more robust. Janet Yellen subscribes specifically to the Keynesian ideology of economics. This means that, hey, the free market, that's great, and it's what America stands up on, but every once in a while it has imperfections. And it's the government's job to right those imperfections back into smooth sailing. So Janet Yellen has this long string of criteria and why she makes a perfect U.S. Treasury Secretary, specifically during this pandemic, right? She ends up working at the Federal Reserve. She's a financial advisor to Bill Clinton during his presidency, and she ends up landing a job at the Federal Reserve as the chair in San Francisco. That job is essentially to ensure that the entire West Coast economy stands upright. During this time, she figures out that there might be a housing bubble in San Francisco. She alerts the Fed, and unfortunately, she does a little bit too late, but her early adoption of that belief that there was a housing bubble and a crash that was going to come ended up getting her a lot of kudos in the industry. Obama takes note, and when Obama does, he ends up promoting her to the chair of the Federal Reserve in order to replace Ben Bernanke. So, what does that mean? How does her Keynesian economic beliefs lead her to a strategy that we care about for real estate at all? I think with Janet Yellen, it means that history is going to repeat itself, and here's why. In 2014, when she had taken over as chair of the Fed, she had people on both sides kind of asking her to really increase the interest rates. And old Janet didn't want to do it. She instead set up a plan that would do an increase just little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit in order to slow economic growth so that way it's not at some huge spur, but it also pushes the economy back up in 2014 because interest rates aren't just for homes, they're for small business loans. And Janet Yellen is really into employment. So if you have business loans at a low interest rate, all of a sudden you're going to have more businesses that are applying for those loans that need more employees that will continue pushing money into the economy. And that is what we need in America, where our economy is based off of the purchase of goods and services. This didn't only help prop up the economy, it helped it push it all the way through back in 2014. So, since her main goal is to continue getting people into the labor market, I think we're going to see her keep interest rates really low. So, what's going to happen? Is that people are going to continue getting these low interest rates and it's going to continue boosting the housing market. And when I say boost, I mean increase the sales amount per property. So I think you're going to see homes that are continuing to grow at like 8% per year, which is roughly 4% every 6 months, depending on where you live. But I think that's what you're going to see. So when that happens, all of a sudden you're going to get less and less and less house for the money in 3 years, because all of a sudden in 3 years, your housing market just increased by 24%. If you're thinking about getting in the real estate market, right now is great because the loans are as low as you're going to get them and the properties haven't yet continued rising, right? Dramatically in some places. If you're thinking about it, this is it. I mean, interest isn't going anywhere. I think it's going to look like this for the whole 4 years of Biden's presidency. The goal for you is to get in whenever it makes sense for you, whenever you've saved up that 5, 10, 20%. But guys, housing prices are only going to increase. If you want to do this in the next 3 years, do it fast and do it now.